Live.
Namaste, everyone. Welcome. This is Deb Sheppard, Facebook Live on 11/11. Hi, this is Deb Sheppard. Welcome to Facebook Live 11/11. I hear a little
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
I guess all of them. I have to mention all of them now, right? Because this is what our third
Twitter.
week, our third week doing all these platforms. So I haven't forgot about you. I just have to retrain my mind. But outside my window, I'm hearing a dove. Do you hear it?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to look that up. I think it means greeting peace, right? So if this is your first time on, let us know where you're from. Give us a first name. We will do readings a little later. I will have a couple topics to share, and then we're going to be able to ask questions about your loved ones who have crossed over. But in the meantime, just have some shout outs here. If you are a person that is a regular follower, maybe a student, again, we'd love to know where you're from. It always surprises me how far out we can connect with people all over the world. And even when this is their sleep time, they're showing up. So I'm in such gratitude for that. Behind the cameras, all of them, is Dana, my partner, and she's the one that manages all this. Otherwise, this would not be happening. So shout out to Dana.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So, try.
Anyone has a shout out there yet, or we wait for everyone to join us and sign up? And
lots of people on actually. I'll go to Instagram first.
Okay, Miss
Instagram. This week we have Keith says hello everyone.
Keith, a dude.
Sarah from Florida.
Hey Sarah.
Amy from Texas.
It feels like we're talking about the pageant.
I know. Keith is from Maine. So Deb from Philly.
Yeah, it just
Deb, actually, I remember her. I spoke with her, and she is primed and ready to join your solution group that starts in January.
Okay, yes.
She wished it started sooner, but it's going to start in January.
So I do a 6-month and a year-long plus mentoring program. So if any of you are wanting to do a lot of healing, build up your intuition, connect with your loved ones, get a lot of clarity in your life, release some fears, old stories,
This is the place to go.
This is the place to come, And we do it all online these days, and we do meet in person for retreats. However, which is really exciting. We're working on our second retreat for these groups, but it's life-changing for people, and I think it's really a good thing to do for yourself. And so hopefully if you go onto my website or call in and talk to Dana, she can explain all the details to you. I love teaching. It's my good place to go.
Shout outs from Facebook and YouTube. Larry on YouTube, he's from Denver, saying hello.
Hi, Larry.
We've got Christine from California. We've got tons of people joining. Kathy from Calgary, Alberta.
Wow.
Becky Ditchfield Murray. Hi, Becky.
Hey,
we miss you. We were just thinking about you the other day.
Yes, we were.
We said we need to reach out. She says, good morning.
Good to see.
Rhonda from Highlands Ranch.
That's close. So Highlands Ranch is Colorado.
Dawn Nakamura Kessler. I'm surprised she's awake. Good morning, Dawn.
Good morning, Miss Dawn.
Lori from YouTube saying good morning.
From YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah,
we have people on from YouTube,
but I was thinking
from Facebook.
It was
the band YouTube.
I was actually thinking.
Do you need a cheeseburger?
Yeah, I'm thinking Utah. You don't need to say UT. You say the actual state.
All right.
In Colorado here, we're getting lots of rain, so we hope it gets in some of the places that there's fires and a lot of droughts. We're really blessed here these days, but I really am looking forward to some warm weather so we can sit on our deck.
Yeah. So the way this works for these Wednesdays, we'll just give you a quick rundown. Deb will talk about a topic, and she's got a couple things she wants to share this week. And then after that, we'll pick a few people to do some readings, and we'll bring somebody on live, and we'll talk about how she works and how she gets messages after she talks about her topic.
I have magic wands. First of all, I want to talk about my podcast that was released on Monday. And if you haven't followed my podcast, they're called Spiritual Straight Talk. And you get Spirited Straight Talk.
You're already channeling.
I
You've got dead people talking.
That's why you're here. I need a little Dana puppet So when she's talking, they can see you. However, the podcast this last week was released was about how to find a good medium. And I've heard recently, because I've been doing this for over 2 decades, and I hear these stories that I get appalled about what mediums say. And I don't know who the medium is or why they said that, so I'm not critiquing them. However, the podcast really talks about how you can decipher who you want to hire, because it's really important. And there's some really great ones out there. And when I teach people to become a medium and they want to do this as a business, we talk about ethics, how they show up, what they do, and how to make sure that their client gets the best session and a lot of clarity. And so if you're kind of on the fence of, do I hire someone or not, listen to the podcast and do your research, because it will really help you save, especially your heart, because they can say things that could be, or I've heard people say things that people wonder, where are they? Are they stuck? Why can't we communicate with them? So you want to get some clarity around that. And it should be a very healing experience. You should be able to walk away going, I know my loved one's okay. And that's the biggest piece of it. So that's the other thing. And then I'm going to, if anyone has any questions, not about a loved one, because we're going to do that later. But if you have
because today is
Ask
Deb Anything.
Ask Deb Anything.
And we did have some questions emailed.
Yeah, so there's some questions emailed. We're going to answer those. And these are not about your loved ones who have passed, but other questions that you may be curious about, or what I do, or how this works. I'm pretty much an open book. So maybe too open at times about what I share. Dana always goes TMI. But I am authentic when it comes to sharing about this work. And I also believe that humor is a key to healing. And I always try to bring in humor. It's not to be disrespectful, but humor can raise your vibration. And when we have a lot of guilt and grief, we're unable sometimes to connect with our own loved ones personally. But by bringing in humor and having joy and being, grateful, you can actually raise your consciousness or your vibration to communicate with your guides and your loved ones, which is really key. So do you have a question there?
Yeah, lots of questions. We'll take one from Instagram first. Deb up in Philly, I think she is. She had said she did listen to the podcast.
Yay.
And I'm sure it was very helpful. Are crystals helpful for meditation, intuitiveness, and connection with spirit?
Absolutely. These are natural things from Mother Earth that gives to us to help change how we feel about things. And for instance, these are malas with certain stones, and they create a vibration or a feeling. Too much, however, can overstimulate us in energy where we feel too wired. I've gone into a store that makes these beads. I love this woman. Her name is Sarita, that owns a store in Denver on 6th Avenue, Tibetan Imports.
Tibet Imports, yeah.
Yeah. And when I first used to go into that store, I would just be like, zzz.
The pendulums were swinging.
I'd walk up to the pendulums and they're going crazy. And I finally went, wait a minute, this is a long and narrow store with rocks on both sides. So I have to ground myself before I go in, which means I just connect with Mother Earth. I don't let all the energy just keep coming, and I focus, and now I can go into the store much more comfortably without having to dart out. So yes, they do create a level of vibration for all of us.
Awesome. I don't always get a full name on Instagram. So this is a question from Cielo_S2 asking, do spirits know we're human, or do they see us and think we're spirits?
They see us as human.
They know, right?
They know. Yeah, they know. They just lost their earth suit. So their human body is no longer ill or fragile, things like that. Their soul continues on. They know that we're a soul and a human body having a spiritual being having a human experience. So they see us as humans. And I'm sure that they think that we're a little slow at times.
We're challenged.
They're going, loser.
We're the stuck ones.
Yes, that's what I say. Humans are more stuck. Spirits aren't.
Okay, so I'll grab one of these questions you received by email.
Okay. Remember, Dana is managing
Just
several
be patient with me.
platforms.
I'll go quickly if I can. Nicole says, I'm wondering how you can tell if your third eye chakra is blocked And if so, how do you unblock it?
Yes, I teach this in my classes. So this is a chakra and it's the color indigo. And what you want to do is if you're not seeing visuals in there, like you're not connecting and seeing like little movies or items like that, that would mean probably it's blocked. Some of the ways to be able to open this up is taking a candle, a white candle normally, but lighting it so there's a flame and begin practicing looking at the candle flame. And you know how you kind of blur your eyes a little bit, so it's a little bit blurry. It's like when you see those 3D pictures where you're trying to decide what it looks like. The more you practice, when you close your eyes, you're going to see the wick or the light of the candle being dark and everything around it being light, so it reverses. And the more that you can keep that picture in there, you can exercise basically your third eye. So my third eye has got a six-pack. The rest of my body it's very fluffy.
And
exercises.
On Spirited Straight Talk, you did a whole podcast about opening your third eye. So that's just one exercise.
Yeah, one exercise, but there's tons
if you
of
go
ways.
back into the podcast, there's a whole
and I don't think
40
people
minutes
recognize when it comes in. So let's say you're trying to figure something out. And I had this happen this morning. I got up and went to the bathroom and I was coming back to bed and I saw this flash and I was like, oh, yeah, I need to pay attention to this. And when I did the research, it helped me find out some answers that I was looking for. So it will pop in, you'll think it's your imagination, but it's really connected to the universe.
So Mary Fowler on Facebook is asking, when I'm in bed, I feel someone sit on my bed and it wakes me up, but there's no one there.
Well, there is.
Right. So I know she wants to know who, but...
So yeah, Dana's had that experience. I have a lot of clients. They'll feel the bed move or the pressure, and we can't see it with our own eyes, but we can feel it. So my feeling, Mary, it feels more male energy to me. So maybe if you lost a father, a brother, a spouse, someone like that, maybe they're coming to say hello. They're not there to scare you. And it could also be someone attached to your energy. So it doesn't have to be someone you know. A lot of times we get visitations from spirits that we're not familiar with, just to sort of say, hey, you need to pay attention to something and be aware. I hope you're not afraid, because I always say I'm more afraid of the living than the deceased. So don't be fear-based with this. Great questions.
Awesome. Do deceased family members have positive action for ill family or friends? So in other words, can they affect your life?
Some mediums say yes, they can. I feel that they can maybe tap us on the shoulder or be present at times, but they're not, in my opinion, they're not here to make our life different, better, or worse. We have spirit guides that are actually more evolved to help us. So when we think about, things that happen to our loved one, that's tragic. Why did one of our loved ones intervene? Well, because they really can't. There are boundaries set. Now, some mediums believe differently than that. So take what resonates and throw away the rest. You get to decide. But basically, if you're calling on loved ones or the universe or God or whomever to help you, they're going to show up. And does it really matter which ones show up as long as they're helping you out? If that person... And the other thing is that we sometimes want to help an individual, but is that our job? If they don't want to make changes, make sure that you are not interfering with their journey.
Yeah, I love the questions. And another one, I've recently had a couple encounters physically and in a dream with two different animals. How does one know what their spirit animal is? And can a person have more than one animal? I feel like these are messages to me from the other side.
Absolutely. Is there more to it, or?
Nope, that was it.
Okay.
And this is the first time listening today via Instagram. So
thank you.
Melissa's on Instagram.
Yeah, thank you, Melissa. So sometimes when animals show up in our life, whether physically, like all of a sudden we're seeing a fox run down the street, or we're seeing a llama as we pass, a pasture, things like that. Even cows and horses, things of that nature, including birds, can be messengers. They're not always our totem animal, but they are messengers from spirit, because we may be more connected to the animal kingdom than people. There are a lot of people that they'd rather have animals in their life than people. So if that's that feels natural to you, what I recommend that you do is you Google the spiritual meaning of the animal that came into your dream or that visited you. You can tell by the feeling of it whether it's a totem or whether it's just that temporary messenger, like, you need to pay attention, hey, we're trying to tell you this, so we're going to talk to you through animals.
Just a comment, I'm scrolling through Instagram. Denise Plant said she felt a hug with much love and it gave her so much peace.
Oh, thank you, Denise.
We know her father passed.
Her father passed. We're so sorry, Denise. And Denise was there to help me do my work on her radio station for years, and I'm very grateful for that. And she became a believer after time.
Brenda says, I'm starting my spiritual journey and I feel like I need to do a past life regression, but for some reason I'm afraid. What do you recommend I do? Let's see, Deb Sheppard.
Yeah, I'm learning to do past life regression. However, I am able to go into what's called your Akashic records, which is all the data that is what your life purpose is. Your past life is basically an ancient library with every documentation possible. So I go into your past life, your Akashic records, and I download the past lives, and then I describe why those lifetimes came into this lifetime. So what you're learning. So instead of you trying to figure it out and be scared, I guide you along, basically hold your hand. And normally the fear things are just what we're learning in this lifetime. So maybe it was abandonment, or you're fearful of water, or you've had some challenges with relationships. Those can come through in your past lives. Mm-hmm. And I love doing past lives because it's not the natural thing I get all the time to do. So it's more of a icing on the cake sort of reading. So
Amy B in California is on.
Oh, hi,
we
Amy.
Missed you, Amy
yeah,
B.
We
she
you,
said,
Amy.
A Dana puppet. That would be funny. If I was talking.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. We'll take a couple more, and I know people are here for some readings as well.
We still have time for all of it.
Sandy says, I've had all sorts of signs from loved ones, but not my mom. Not even a visit in a dream. Do loved ones sometimes hold out on coming through until they are ready?
Nope.
Quick answer.
No. So what happens if you are not, and if you're feeling other loved ones, that's awesome, because that means you are tuned in. However, if your mom and you were extremely close, or there was things unsettled, you're carrying guilt and shame, it makes it more difficult for your mom to connect with you. Mm-hmm. So it's not anything to do with her or you, it's just that vibration. And so I always tell people, if they want to make a connection with their loved one, try people that they're not as connected with. So if you and your mom have had this history and there's some stress or anything positive or negative that's happening, it makes the connection more difficult. But when people say they're not there, they don't want to connect, that is because of the ability of the medium. If the medium can't, it's because of their abilities, not because the other person is stuck or doesn't want to communicate.
Yeah.
In my opinion, in my experience of over 2 decades of doing this.
All right. Yes. I'm glad you share that.
Yeah.
Sometimes readings can be more hurtful than helpful if you don't have a good medium.
Yeah, so
Deb Cross, hi.
Hey, Miss Deb.
She says, love listening to you. Always learn something new.
Good.
Nina says, I want to know all about my chakras, which your classes and of course the podcasts are great ways, because that's a little more in depth.
Yeah, that's not just a couple of minutes.
But just so you know that Deb does teach that.
And we're going to be launching a class called the 30-Day Shift, which will include feng shui, spirit guides, dreams, and chakras.
Yeah.
It's 4 weeks.
Yep.
So wait for that to come out and you can go to the class.
Karen,
it's only $1 million.
Yeah. And I know we're it's $1 million. We're going to go into readings here.
Okay.
But I thought somebody asked this question. Kathy Lawson says, will my son who abandoned us ever be back in our lives? I'm reading this because it's such a theme lately with kids who have kind of abandoned their parents.
Mm-hmm. There's a few podcasts further back a Facebook Live, that same thing. And I've had it happen to me. It seems to be a new energy vibration where kids that are grown are no longer in connection with their parents. And I believe that part of it's a spiritual lesson. It's also heartbreaking because we wonder why, what can we fix and things like that. So there is a shift. I've been doing a little bit of soul searching and meditation on it. So I guess hang in there, and hopefully I can bring up some energy at some point to talk about this as one of our podcasts. But you're in
Wow.
good company.
Deb on Instagram, she says it is a theme. My son too has shunned us.
It is.
Yeah.
I can't believe how ouch.
Oh my gosh.
You're sorry, guys. We had a little.
Fell, but we're fine.
We're fine.
Okay.
Okay, so again, if this is happening to you, where your adult children are abandoning you, and it doesn't really make any sense, and I'm getting this from parents that seem very healthy and had a good relationship, and all of a sudden there's just a break in the relationship, and I'm looking at a few different reasons for this, but I will be doing some more deep dives around this topic.
Yeah. Larry on Instagram, if I have no grief, guilt, or anger, would I ever get picked on one of your shows? We'll post your question and we'll see if I come across it here in a bit.
Larry, you're not a victim.
We'll get to you. We'll get to you.
Everyone-
Everybody's invited.
Yeah, everyone's invited.
Okay, so Dead Cross too. Most heartbreaking thing ever, to be abandoned by our kids for no reason we can see
That we and they
or understand.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do some readings.
Yeah. So if you have any questions regarding a loved one that's passed, or even it could be around a career or your health, it doesn't always have to be about someone who's passed. So it's pretty open. And the chakra question that's a much longer answer. So we're not going to answer it on this platform. But if you want to talk to a loved one who's passed, give us their name and how they're connected. Now, I only do this on these kind of platforms in a private session, in large groups. I don't ask for that, just to get through more. So I'm an empath primarily, which means I feel the things. I feel older, younger, male or female. Personality traits come through a lot. If they were sick in some part of their body, I can feel it within my body for a few seconds at least. If it's COVID, I hack a lung out. Sometimes I cough a lot. That's probably not appropriate to say, but I do cough heavily. Then I use my third eye, which has a little vision of what's happening. I hear, see, taste, and smell. So I know I can smell cookies or, gasoline, things like that. And then I can also taste menudo, all kinds of things. And then I take all those things together. I always call psychic charades, put it together as a message. I've been doing this for such a long time. I do have signs that I get that I just use rapidly, and that's why you'll hear me speak really quickly. If there's something I don't understand, I'll tell you, I see this, but I don't know what it means to you, because it's not about me, it's about you. If you can validate the information and put it on the platform you're on, that would be amazing. It's okay if I'm wrong, but again, that would help everyone know and me know, yes, we're connected to your loved one, and including animals.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness. Donna Dietrich, why don't you send me a quick email to Dana@DebSheppard.com.
Why does she sound familiar?
She's followed you for quite some time.
Where is she? Okay.
Down in the Springs.
Okay.
I recognize her name, but she has a recent loss. So I think just send me a quick email. Let's see here. Why don't we connect for somebody on YouTube first?
Okay.
I have Kathy Hardesty. She wants to connect with her Jack, her husband.
Also, if it's a child, I want to know their age. So anyone in your children's or grandchildren's generation, so they could be adults their age. So Jack, the first thing I'm getting, Kathy, way too young. He's coming through with a little bit of humor. I'm not sure he would have been a believer in this type of being talking to a medium, but he's just like, wow, okay, I'm here. I do feel sick before he passed. There's a congestion. I'm assuming not COVID because I'm not coughing. And he also feels as if not everyone was prepared, or he didn't realize it was the end of his life. So this may have been, I don't think it's dementia, but that can be part of it. Or he was in a place that he thought, yeah, we're going to get through this. He says, yes, I'm sending you signs. Quit begging me to send you signs. He goes, I am doing it. This could be from, feathers to coins, electrical things as that. And he's also saying, yes, he's at peace. He's also there. I feel like with his mother or your mother, and he's also bringing a father figure that may have been difficult. So there's an older man that's with him that may have been difficult when he was alive, just to let you know that he is around. He's also giving me the number 8. It could mean anything from 8 years ago, 8 months, 8 weeks, August, or an eighth of a month. So hopefully that will make sense. Numbers are harder for me. And he is also saying, I'm so sorry that I'm not with you anymore. So let us know if that makes any sense. And for those that people want to know how this works, it does feel like I'm making stuff up. Stuff just randomly comes through and I tell you what I'm getting. Mm-hmm. And it is an interpretation, which means I'm trying my best to tell you what your loved one is saying.
So Donna, if you're still on, send me that quick message to Dana@DebSheppard.com. It's on the screen.
Did you say who passed?
I can get you connected. Her brother. I can get it. Hi, Ellie Schreiner.
Hi, Ellie. These are people that we've known for years. I always like to see them pop in, saying hi.
Her brother, Frank.
Okay.
And there's some questions surrounding his passing.
Yeah.
You do cold cases and help find missing people and all of that. So occasionally we like to bring one of those on too. Here's a question for you. Lisa Bogardus. She says, are you able to tell me what my sister Monica is experiencing, if it is actually spiritual or if it is a mental thing? I've tried to help her for years. There's a couple of those questions popping up. So,
okay. To answer this quickly with the amount of time, sometimes people that are highly sensitive may have mental health concerns, as well as they're tapping into the universal connection to the world that I connect with. So our loved ones, our guides, that, higher consciousness. If someone doesn't know how to balance this work, it can cause them other types of challenges. They may have addictions. They may have a lot of depression. They may not be able to hold down a job or relationships. There may be a lot of drama for them because they don't know how to ground themselves, and they're all up here. So what I teach in my programs is how to create the balance between being on the earth and having things that, we're human with, and then balancing that with the information that I'm getting, and to turn it off. A lot of people that tune into this work don't know how to shut down. And so we need to have a human experience. So if your sister is always in this wired place and doesn't know how to be in that human experience, it can be a challenge. I'm not a medical intuitive, so I'd have to ask her some more questions and tune in a little bit more to figure that out. With her permission.
Yep.
I wouldn't do it without her permission.
Mary Fowler says, my 16-year-old nephew Noah had autism and was nonverbal. Is he okay? And who is he with?
So this is Mary.
Mary is her name, and Noah is her nephew.
Okay. First of all, Mary, I don't mean to be laughing, but he is like, I'm fine. And being, is he passed is what I'm getting? Mm-hmm. Okay. What I feel with him is maybe there was a seizure or an unexpected passing for him. This world for him is that he became the teacher. He was able to have people understand their limiting beliefs about what is healthy, normal, and what you can do. He was very telepathic in his own way. There's a little bit of a sense of humor or a weird. What I do is weird. So weird is normal. He also had some habits or things that he did that were like, why is he doing that? Yes, he is okay. He showed me actually a couple of dogs with him. There are different sizes and different breeds. And he's also showing me definitely grandparents and maybe an uncle or a father figure, but someone that would be older than him. So he's bringing through a lot. He feels like his timing of his passing, he was done. I feel like he was done teaching. He was ready to move forward and just say, I don't need to be here any longer. You guys figure it out. So big heart. It's interesting. He didn't think that his life was weird. He just thought everyone could not learn to communicate. And there were a few that did. He says it took effort for them, but that's because they were intuitive and they made that effort. But he is totally fine, Mary.
All right. I haven't heard from Donna.
And also, Mary, just realize that they don't carry those limiting health things with them. So when I connect with Noah, he's talking about his life here. Sorry, guys. He's talking about his life here, but that's not what he has. His body is no part of a restriction in the afterlife. So his soul is fine, which is really nice to know they don't carry that stuff with them.
Right. I did not hear from Donna.
Okay.
So we'll pick one more and I'll read. Let's see here. We have a couple more questions.
Okay. Love it. Because I love the teaching part. So it makes me excited.
And Kathy said, most of what you said makes perfect sense. So thank you. And then Shannon said, it makes sense for me too.
Okay.
There were a couple of people. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
asking about seeing things. Is it real or is it
yeah.
mental illness of some sort?
So Kathy, if Jack had an unexpected death, which I sort of feel, remember there's mental health and other things that could have affected. So if he wasn't like sick with cancer, that might have been part of what he was trying to tell me, because I was a little confused on how he died.
Dawn is asking, is a health intuitive a healer?
Okay, what's that again?
Is a health intuitive a healer?
Yeah, anyone that helps another person's a healer.
Okay, one more question while I
Sure.
look through these. Susan, does addiction follow a soul around?
In my Soul's Contracts class, this is a class I teach about what our life purpose is. Addiction doesn't follow someone around, but it is part of their spiritual lessons in this lifetime of how to overcome addictions. Just like, and addictions can be shopping, working too much, exercising, so anything can be considered an addiction. However, other people have other lessons, which might be abandonment or judgment, those type of things that can occur in your life. So if it seems to follow them, I believe it's part of their life lesson in this lifetime. And they're here not only for themselves, but to teach the people around them that are concerned about someone with addictions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to ask.
I've even seen people being addicted to psychics.
Yeah, I'm going to ask Jade Katrina LeBird to send an email to me at dana@debsheppard.com. We'll see if we can bring you on live with Deb, but you got to send it quickly here. And the question I have here is Ellie is asking, how do we see through the mind games when it comes to following intuition in relationships?
Is this Ellie or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ask the question again.
How do we see through the mind games? So what I'm thinking she's saying is that how can we separate what's going on in the physical world versus our intuition?
Okay, so many relationships are in our life as teachers. So those relationships that we hold on to that we know are not healthy for us is one way to understand that they're a teacher. We're here to learn a lesson and then to let that relationship be released. We're going to find another teacher that may be similar, so they're going to show up. So you want to know, is this person a teacher and a soulmate, which these teachers are soulmates that drive us crazy. It's like the fingernails on the chalkboard. Or is it a life partner that we're here to experience our life with? And to me, it's practice and understanding what is in the integration of this relationship. So your gut may say, I need to be in this, I need to know this person, I need to be here. But is it for a life lesson or is it for a romantic, intimate partnership? And part of that is, asking yourself more questions, going deeper. What's the pattern? Do you attract these same relationships over and over that you're learning from, but you're not changing? And this is what I would say. You don't want to be a nurse or purse. You don't want a project. You want a partner. So if these three are showing up, that means they're a teacher versus a life partner.
So our time is up.
Our time is up. No one can get through today. Mercury is still in a little bit of retrograde. So.
But we'll try again to bring somebody on live next week. But you did tons of readings today.
And answered the beautiful questions, everyone. I love the questions. This is what I think helps our community. So if you don't get a connection with one of your loved ones, realize it is a way to develop and understand your intuition, because people can think that this is scary. And some of the information out there is a little bit too even woo-woo for me.
You want to pull a card?
Yeah. So I actually have, and if you are wanting to connect with your loved one and you feel a little overwhelmed, these are my oracle cards called Forever Connected. Of course, you can get them on my website, but if you have an Amazon account, go to Amazon, sent to you easy, as well as my book called Grieving to Believing. So this deck has got 44 cards, and you pull a card based on trying to get an answer from your loved one. And these can come through for maybe a loved one that you weren't thinking about, or even an animal. But these are messages that I've gotten over the years that come through that you can listen to it and get a connection for your loved one. So this one is, I am with you. So this is how it looks.
So this is everybody's message from
Today.
their loved one today.
Right now, it may be difficult for you to feel me near you. However, I'm around much more than you think. When you are grieving, it is difficult to trust what you sense. You may even think you are making things up. When you feel me near you, you may think you're making things up when you feel me near you. That's supposed to be one big sentence on a pause. Every day I see your success at trying to heal your sorrow. So these cards, fabulous. And what I've heard, some of the stories when people have used them, is they'll keep for a couple of weeks getting the same card over and over, thinking they're going to get a different message. And that is their loved one reminding them of the same thing and the same message for them to understand. So go into Amazon or my website, debsheppard.com. Order these for yourself or as a gift. They're inexpensive, easy to use. They can even be used for kids. Also, if you are new, follow my podcast, Spirited Straight Talk, and join us again next Wednesday for Facebook Live, or what is this all
Deb
called
Sheppard
now?
Live.
Deb Sheppard Live for all formats. So thank you for joining us all over the country and the world. Have a great rest of your week, and thank you for joining us.